All right. Shalom, Israel. The ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Teaching the truth since 1969. We are under Commander Jimmy Yohana. We're here to teach the so-called. All right. Check the volume really quick, y'all. 1 second. All right. Again, we are the ISUPK. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commander Jimmy Yohana. We're here to teach the so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, the truth of the Bible. All right. My name is Nicole 500. I'm stationed here in Philadelphia. All right. If you have any questions, General Muhammad will be coming shortly. All right. If you have any questions, just type it in below. All right. Anybody have any questions in the class? You can just hold it until the general get here. All right. Can somebody give me Romans 12:2? All right. So right now, as we see what's going on in the world, none but mayhem. You got monkeypox. You got super gonorrhea. You got a crime rate at an all-time high, especially here in Philadelphia. 100 rounds were just let off in West Philadelphia alone, just in one day, probably in 1 week, over 1,000 rounds. That's ridiculous. It's time for us to change our mindsets, change the way how we think. Change everything that we think that is right, because it's not right. It's not correct. Young man Will, you got it? Romans 12:2. Go ahead, read.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
Yeah, we can't be conformed to this world. It's no benefit, right? We try to be conformed to this world. We get high because why? We are stuck in the maze. We stuck in a trap. We in the ditch with blindfolds on, and we don't even understand, right? There's a whole psychological and spiritual warfare going on. Chemical warfare going on. So what we had to do, read it again.
Okay. And be not conformed to this world.
You can't be conformed to this world. When they say I'm living my best life, and you living your life chasing money and trying to be the greatest successful American, man, is no benefit with that, because you're going to celebrate everything that the oppressor gives us on our dinner table. All right, 1 second.
Wrap it up. Let's get it off. Right. Okay. Get your questions in the room and online. Carl, do me a favor when you see Murad, get us to him, all right? Just tell him to see me about it. Okay, I'll take your questions in the room and online. Whenever you're ready, let's have it up front. Please.
I was just wondering, I know some people be meditating and stuff like that. I just want to know, what's meditating like a way of going against God and doing something incorrect?
Okay, the original, the way the meditation was spread is through Buddhism, right? Meditation is a major tenet of Buddhism. Some Hindus also, different Eastern religions, Taoism, they believe in meditation, which is basically chanting to yourself. So I think a famous one of Buddhism is, you can look this up for me, Nicole, Nak Rao Chichaya, Nak Rao Chichaya, Nak Rao Chichaya. And they just say that, brother, 1,000,000 times. And they just sit in quiet, and it's kind of like the concept of just calming yourself down. But it was popularized through absolute religious practices, right? That's where it comes from, right? Will it do anything for you? No. It will do absolutely nothing, because, of course, the Chinese do it, and they're still murderers and conquerors and oppressors. And they still conquer people and kill children. And before, a few years ago, they were having so many abortions over there in China, so many state, not just state sanctioned, but state forced. Where the state was forcing people to have abortions, that they almost ran out of girls because people were only aborting their female babies. So a chanting or meditation will not help you. Will it make you feel calm? Sure. You know, counting to 10 when you're angry can make you feel calm, right? You just say 1, 2, 3, just count to 10, relax. It can make you feel calm. Will it change the kind of person you are? Absolutely not. It won't do anything at all. Adherence to God's law is the only thing that changes anyone. Because if you're not adhering to God's law, who are you listening to? That's what you got to ask yourself, right? You got to ask yourself that. That's an important question. You understand, right, Warrior? Shalom, Warrior. Is it on or not on?
It's on.
Okay. Everyone can hear me, correct? Let me know if I can proceed, all right? Solid. Testing 1, 2. Everyone can hear me? If you can, just let us know, all right? Any other questions? We'll go over mantiteo today. That's his name? Mantiteo. If we have time, we'll go over that also. The brutal beating of that person out there that's on the YouTube and everything right now. Was that person an Israelite that the cops beat to death? Anybody know? Well, the cops beat the piss out of somebody, punching him and kneeing him to death. It was on camera, but I'm not sure of the nation of the person they were beating. But they whooped him but good while he was handcuffed. Because, of course, their reasoning was he dared not to lay completely still while they punched him in the face and kneed him in the face. All right. So we'll try to go over that today. I appreciate it, Doc. Any other questions in the room? Online.
Khan, sir. Brother says, Slaki, sir, can I get a general breakdown of Revelation chapter 20, verse 4 through 7?
No problem. Let's go. Revelation 20, verses 4 through 7.
Khan.
Whoever wants to read, you got it.
Khan, book of Revelation. Khan, book of Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus.
This is one of the many visions that John the Revelator had while he was in prison for performing the will of God under our King Yahushua Christ. He suffered persecution for being in the truth. Right. The same way you brothers and sisters in the UPK have to suffer persecution for being in the truth. His went as far as to be put in prison. But while he was in prison, the Most High God began to communicate with him through visions, through dreams. He then wrote these things down, wrote them on cave walls, wrote them down for posterity to remember unto this very day. The book of Revelations comes from those visions that John had, all right? He's having a vision right now. Now, that's the important part to understand. This is not literal. Like the entire book of Revelations, virtually none of it is literal, right? Very little of the book of Revelations is literal. Most of it is a dream. It represents something else. It's the image of one thing that is referring to another thing. Everybody understands, right? You can find what I just quoted in the book of Ecclesiasticus about dreams. Dreams are the vision of one thing, the resemblance of one thing to another. That's what a vision is or a dream is. Everyone understands. So now I will tell you what this looks like, right? What does this look like? Read it one more time. If you need that precept I just quoted, you got to just raise your hand and tell me. If not, I'm moving on. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them.
So now he's seeing thrones and people sitting on those thrones, and judgment was given to them. Meaning what? They were in charge now. They were the new government, right? Now, what is that a vision of? What does that resemble? The 12 tribes of Israel under Christ ruling the planet Earth. Just like the Bible says about visions or dreams. It is the resemblance of one thing to another. He's seeing people sitting on thrones, and judgment was given to them. How would you see that? Imagine a scepter being handed to someone. That's how you would know that this person is now the judge. Or in today's society, a gavel, like they bang on in court. When a Supreme Court justice is made a Supreme Court justice, they're given a gavel by the other Supreme Court justices. That gavel represents now you're a judge. Everyone understands. In the medieval world, they would hand you a scepter. Or in monarchies, they hand you a scepter, which is a short staff that represents rulership. So he's seeing a person on the throne and a staff or a scepter be handed to them. What does that resemble? The 12 tribes of Israel ruling this planet Earth, man. And when a brother is in prison, that's a thing that can give you great comfort. Great comfort to sit up in a jail cell for doing the right thing, not the wrong thing, not for being a drug dealer, not for being a rapist or a child molester, not for being a thief, some old stinking car thief or purse snatcher, like a lot of you brothers love to be in the world, some old purse snatcher. You go snatch old ladies' purses at the first of the month when they get the damn Social Security check. And you think you're a gangster or some type of, revolutionary. Not a thief or a liar. A lot of you brothers love to be liars because you can lie to some stupid hoe and have sex with her. Because you can pose on a picture of a car that is not yours, take that picture and put it on Instagram and have sex with her. What are you, a player? Is that playing? I'm assuming you a hardcore player because you lied to a woman and have sex with her.
Right.
You don't know how, you'll never know how beautiful it is to tell a woman the absolute truth and have her open her legs for you. Most of you won't know that. You don't know what I'm talking about right now. But to just tell her, yeah, I got other wives. Yeah, I got other women.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be in charge of you and I'm going to rule over you and you're going to do whatever I tell you to do. Hello. Before you know it, she assumes a position, brother.
Right.
I pray you understand.
Right.
That's manly. To just be a liar, that's nothing. He wasn't in jail for being a liar. He was there for doing the right thing, for fighting injustice and oppression through words, not weapons, not swords and staffs and arrows, but with words. And he was in jail. And in there, he saw his people sitting on thrones, brother. And that was great comfort, brother. Great comfort. Continue.
And judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus.
And at the same time, he sees the souls of them that were beheaded. Now, what does this resemble? The souls of them that were beheaded. What happened to his brother? Anyone knows? His brother was killed. His brother's name was James. And his brother was killed by King Herod. Think how many brothers he saw die. Historians say that Peter was killed and hung up on a cross upside down because he refused to go on a cross right side up. That's what historians say. The disciples were killed, man. The monks that came after them were black men and they were killed, black and Hispanic men. Now, in this vision, he sees the souls of them that were beheaded for Christ. He sees them in this vision. Keep going.
And for the word of God.
Keep going. And for the word of God. Keep going.
And which had not worshipped the beast.
These men were righteous. What does that mean? What does the beast resemble in this vision? The beast resembles our oppressor. That's the beast. He sees an animal in his dream, a dragon, a serpent, sometimes with 7 heads, crowns on its head, breathing fire and flying through the sky. That beast is a resemblance of the oppressor that put him in that very prison. That oppressor that killed his brothers. That oppressor that beheaded men for the word of God, for words, not for weapons, not for arrows, not for armed revolution, but for words that came out of their mouth. Now, you remember that when people hate you for what you say, for what you simply say. Continue.
Neither had received his mark upon their forehead.
They didn't worship this beast, and they didn't get indoctrinated with his philosophy, which is what a mark on your forehead represents. What's the metaphor? What does a mark mean on an animal? It means you're owned by that animal.
Right.
It's a brand,
Right.
a brand. That's the metaphor. So he's seeing people branded on their forehead. That's the mark of the beast. This is an animal, and I know you're owned by that animal because his mark has been seared in your forehead, cut in your forehead, like you would a cow or a donkey or a horse. That's the mark of the beast. That's the metaphor. It resembles what? Being indoctrinated with our oppressor's philosophy, man. And so many of the people that hate us, they hate us because they've been indoctrinated with our oppressor's philosophy.
Right.
They believe as he believes. They think as he thinks. And not just only as he thinks, but they think like black people who love Christianity and love democracy and love capitalism and love lust and sexual lasciviousness. They don't just think like oppressors, but they think like the worst oppressor, the worst one. You give me a black person who believes that God's will is to be a homosexual. He is not only going to act like a woman, but he's going to act like the worst woman in the world. You give me a black woman or a Hispanic woman that believes in homosexuality as being God's will. She's not just going to act like a man. She's going to act like the worst men that exist. And that's Christians. Black Christians aren't just, like white Christians. They're like the worst Christians. They're the child molesting Christians and the lying Christians and the vain and lust-filled and money-grubbing Christians. They're the worst of white society. The black church isn't just white. It's the worst of white society. It's every absolutely negative aspect of white culture brought to the forefront in the black and Hispanic church. That is a fact. Everybody understands, I pray. Well, not these men. No, they don't think like that. You understand? That's why the mark was not in their forehead, because they don't think like that. Continue.
Neither had received the mark upon their foreheads or in their hand.
Or in their hand. What's the metaphor or the resemblance of this? Not only does he own your mind, he owns your action. Now he owns your hand. Your hand is used for what? War, skill, building, fighting. You fight for this beast now. Not only do you think like him and live your entire life in his mindset, but you also will use your hands to further his agenda. You'll also use your hands to kill for that animal, to kill for that beast. You'll go over to Iraq and Afghanistan and kill for him. You'll go to the streets of America in a policeman's uniform and beat people up and murder for him. You'll do what he wants you to do. You won't do what's beneficial to you or your nation. Nah, that's not what's in your head. Everybody understands? That's not what's in your head. You'll go do things that only help him. And that's true of cops, people in our oppressor's military, and drug dealers, and gangbangers. All of you work for the white man. Your hands further his agenda. The white man's agenda is to kill more black people, and you will use your hand to kill black people as a cop, to kill black people in the military, or to kill black people as a criminal in a gang or in some criminal enterprise. Everyone understands. That's the mark of the beast in your hand. In your hand. Keep going. Is this what I got to break down for this brother? Or have I passed it?
Two more verses.
Go ahead.
And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 5. But the rest of the dead
Wait. So the dead lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. Remember, they were beheaded. Remember that, right? They were beheaded, but they lived with Christ. What does that resemble? These brothers who died a long time ago are going to live with Christ. Remember, he said, I saw the souls of them that were killed, not will be killed, but were killed. Meaning these killings happened in the past to who? To who? Who can is right in front of your face? In the past to who, brother in the back?
The men that didn't follow the oppressor.
These beheadings happened in the past to John, because John is the one who wrote it, and he said, I saw the souls of them who were beheaded. So he's saying brothers he knew who were killed, and he also sees them living with Christ. What does that resemble? He knows those brothers that lost their life, they're coming back because they will live again. Do you understand? They're going to live again. And this time when they come back, they're going to sit on thrones and be with Christ. That's the breakdown. That's right in front of you. That's what we just read just now. And he sees this in jail at his darkest time in life. And that angel came to him, brother, to tell him the truth, because the truth gives you hope.
Right.
And hope, brother, is powerful. It's a powerful warrior. It's an absolutely powerful thing sent by God. Everyone understands. Next. You have any ice in the back up? For what? Go ahead.
Like, so someone in Brazil asked me, if it's allowed, it would be lawful basically to work for an organization that is a Christian organization. They wouldn't be taking part directly in a religious operation of this organization. They would be part of the business division. And so they have a lot of events that they use for Black Brazilian businesses, etc.
Does this Christian organization give him religious freedom in Brazil? Does he have the freedom to wear a shield and go to work and not be a Christian?
They told him that they were Israelite. They said that's fine. You wouldn't have to take part in
Well, first of all, he did the right thing by telling him he's an Israelite. What's his name?
Hadassah.
Hadassah? That's his slave name, I'm assuming. Hadassah is a woman's name.
Sister.
Oh, it's a sister. Salaki. It's a woman, a sister in the school. Give Hadassah a hand. I'm sure, Abon, you can speak to her in Portuguese and let her know that what she did was absolutely right. And she showed that she has faith. Faith. She put it into action by saying, I'm an Israelite. This is who I am. And if you're going to not give me the job because of that, shalom. But she told them, and if she can work there and they don't have a problem with her not doing things that are against her religious beliefs, then she can work there. Every job is Christian.
Right.
What job is not Christian? You work for Chick-fil-A. It's closed on Sunday. You know that, right? Right. It's closed on Sunday. What's not Christian? The federal government is Christian. Everything is Christian. A Walmart is Christian. How do you know that? The McDonald's, the Christmas sales, right? And the Thanksgiving deals. And then they're closed on Christmas, right? Every major store is closed on Christmas. They're closed because every place is Christian on the planet Earth. Christianity is the belief of the world. And Christ talked about love not the world. He was talking about the masses of society and what they believe. Every job is Christian. But this job, I pray you understand that. Next. Online, go ahead. Anything else?
Oh, come. Brother wanted a general breakdown in Matthew chapter 24, verse 20 through 21.
Go ahead.
Book of Matthew chapter 24 and verse 20. Mm-hmm. But pray ye that, the book of Matthew chapter 24 verse 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
This is a precept where Christ is giving clues, hints about his return, right? He does not know exactly when he will be back. He knows he's coming back, but he's coming back at the orders of the Father, not his own will, but the Father's will. But he does know certain clues about it. He knows it will be in winter. He knows it will be on the Sabbath day. Now, with that said, it could be from here from 1,000 years. It could be tonight. It could be tomorrow. It could be 100 years from now. Who in the hell knows? In the UPK, we behave as if it could be this Sabbath, this winter. And then what else did Christ say? The Bible also says that he will cut the time short. So then to cut the time short, he might come before the winter. Because he said if he did not cut the time short, there would be no flesh remaining. That was said in the New Testament after Christ died and rose again. So there is a time that the Most High has set for the Lord to return. And it will be in some winter, and it will be on the Sabbath day. Then the Lord also said, if he doesn't cut the time short, none of us will be left. So it could be tonight. It could be any time. It could be in the middle of the summer. It could be tomorrow. Everyone understands. Next.
Sir.
Let me get one more bun that I see. See me one more time with the chaser, please, Nakar. Go ahead.
Sir.
You can take this one out.
Brother, we're going to break down Revelation chapter 22 verse 11.
Just the chaser, all right? Go ahead. Revelations what?
22 verse 11. Sir.
Go ahead.
Book of Revelation chapter 22 and verse 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still.
Mm-hmm.
And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still.
You better go up to 9, all right? Go ahead.
Book of Revelation chapter 22 and verse 9. Then saith he unto me, see thou do it not, for I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren the prophets, and of them which keep the sayings of this book, worship God. Verse 10. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand.
For the what?
For the time is at hand.
He said, seal not the prophecy of the saying of this book. To seal it up, this was old, in the old days, back when books were very rare. There was a time when people did not read. Hell, that time wasn't too long ago. I want to say, like, your great-grandmother, she might not have known how to read. You know, your great-great-grandmother, forget about it, didn't have to know how to read. Back when people were more rural and focused on agriculture, reading was not important. You got a lot of places like in the country, in Tennessee and Alabama and places like that, people didn't need to read at all. They just had to work. And so reading was rare, and books were very rare. And so a lot of books, they were leather bound and, you know, treated with such delicacy because they were very valuable. And sometimes people would take a book and put locks on the book so people couldn't read them. Imagine leather straps right on the book to keep it closed, to keep it safe, to make sure that the binder didn't get broken, to make sure people weren't opening it up and breaking the damn binding of the book. And you wanted people to not open it. And they would seal up books. This is something that was very common in the past, right? So that's the metaphor you need to understand. Show me a book with 7 seals on it right here, just so they can get the visualization in their mind, all right? So read it one more time.
Come. And he said unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book.
But he's saying in this case, don't seal the prophecies of this book. What does that resemble? Meaning, tell people about what you understand. Tell the truth. Don't seal it up and lock it up. Tell them about it. Why? Because the time is short. Time is too short to hide this away and to just know this and keep it safe. No, you're going to have to let somebody know about this, because we don't have much time. Everybody understands. The Lord said he's coming back as a thief in the night. So no one knows when he's coming back. You don't know if he's coming back in the winter. He might not. You don't know if he's coming back on the Sabbath. He might not. That's a scroll that has 7 seals on it. That's very old. There's also books that they would do it on, but this is during the time period that would relate to this. All right. Keep going.
Come. For the time is at hand.
For the time for what? The time of judgment, brother. The thing that blacks and Hispanics, man, have been thinking about and praying about for thousands of years. That's another thing I wanted to break down in here tonight. Forgiveness and the lie perpetrated on forgiveness by the Christian church. Turning the other cheek does not mean that nothing happens to the person that wronged you. That is not what turning the other cheek means. The Christian church has lied about the understanding of even forgiveness. And they use forgiveness as a tool for the people who hurt you. And now our entire race has a warped sense of forgiveness that people use against the victim. Let me give you a common everyday occurrence. You got your mother, and your mother knows that her boyfriend molested you. And inevitably, your mother or somebody did something wrong to you in the family. You were molested, you were hurt by another family member. Your mother will say, well, you have to forgive your friend, your brother, your cousin, your stepfather, your father. Your family members will come to you and press you to forgive them. And you, because of you living in this Christian society, you will think it is your obligation to forgive them. But ask yourself this. I'm reading this excellent book by this devil who just is examining how he's Jewish, and he's examining how Christians have taken forgiveness and used it as if it's biblical, as if it's from the Old Testament. And it's ridiculous. He's a devil, but of course he hates Christians. And he understands, of course, the lies of Christianity. Right. And brother, and he's a therapist, so he goes into all these cases, which is why I have it to understand the case studies of the different people who have been through molestation and the different forms of therapy that people get who are molested when you go to a therapist. And he said that all therapists will do is just use whatever religion you are. Whatever religion you have, they'll go, okay, well, you should forgive the person that hurt you. That's another thing that was on mantiteo, which was ridiculous. That mantiteo had to forgive this LGBT transgender who destroyed his life. But the whole show was about forgiving him. And of course, some therapist tells this to mantiteo because a therapist is paid to make you feel better. So you will feel better if you forgive the person that molested you or ruined your life. That comes from Christianity. That's the lie of turn the other cheek. Well, in this scenario, your mother tells you forgive the person. Why is your mother telling you that? Is it for you? Is your mother telling you to forgive your child molester because it will help you, or will it help your mom? I know you understand. Will it help her now to have to get, so she can not have any repercussion because she let a man come in your home who molested you? Will she not have to be embarrassed in church when people find out about it? Will she be able to still walk around people and act like she's better than everybody else because no one will know that she has a home with that kind of dysfunction in it? Many people will tell you to forgive because it helps them. Not because you'll have some type of cathartic experience and you'll feel better and you'll be better off, but they'll be better off. And that's why our oppressor always teaches you to forgive, not because it'll help you. You're going to get high and become a drug addict because of your trauma, but it will help America. It will help other people. And even in your own family, they will do that. The people in your house will say, well, you got to forgive your uncle. You can't harbor all that hate in you. You got to forgive him. You got to forgive that person that molested you, that person that raped you. When who in the hell would do something like that for you? How in the hell does that help you? That is not what turning the other cheek is about. Turning the other cheek is to stop you from taking vengeance at your own hand. That's what turning the other cheek is about. That's why Christ many times told you, what did Christ say? Christ said there was a woman who wanted vengeance on her enemy. And she went to a judge all the time asking for it. And this judge, even though he didn't care about men or God, he gave the woman vengeance. This parable Christ has taught you that you faint not, that you don't get weak in asking for vengeance. Christ told you that anybody that was said in times past, that whosoever killeth a man shall be in danger of being brought to the council. But I say unto you, whosoever hate a man without cause. Christians, of course, skip over that part. Whosoever hate a man without cause, meaning what? You can hate somebody if you got a good reason to. You absolutely can. Whoever hateth a man without cause shall be what? Forgiven? Who knows what the hell I'm talking about? No one, but I know you do. He shall be in danger of the council. So Christ was what believed in taking people to council. who were wrong in taking people to their justice system. But what he did not believe in is you killing someone because he wronged you. He did not believe in you taking vengeance in your own hand because that is against the Old Testament. And that is what turn the other cheek is about. Because when you don't turn the other cheek, you punch him for what he did to you. When what should you do? Take him to counsel. You should get justice the way that God wants you to get justice, not the way you want to get justice, which is doing what? Taking the law into your own hand. In times past, Israel had a whole city that you had to go run to if you killed somebody by accident because his family was still going to come kill you. It was called, what was it called? The place of refuge. And they would kill a goat and sacrifice that was called the scapegoat for these people who killed somebody, but it was an accident. They didn't mean to kill the person. You might have been working with somebody and you slipped and a rock fell on the cat and he died. And the judge said, you're innocent because it was not guilty, because you didn't do it. So the judge didn't kill you because the court determined that you were not guilty because it was an accident. His cousins are still coming to kill you.
Right.
Because his cousins cannot do what? Turn the other cheek.
Right.
They have to take vengeance at their own hand, even when the judge says he was not at fault for killing your cousin. And there was a city that you had to go let people run to because that's how much people did not turn the other cheek. Read the scripture one more time.
Come. And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand.
Because the time is short. The time where we have to constantly suffer under this evil and do nothing. We can't even feel anger. We can't even be upset. The white man can destroy the damn Congress. Donald Trump sent those people down there to kill Mike Pence, to kill him. I am not exaggerating. I know it sounds like a ton of UPK tough talk. It is not. It is what he sent them to do, to go kill this cat. And yet he is going to win the presidency again. He is going to run and win again. And we're crazy. And we're a cult. Why? Because we feel something for slavery and for the police murdering black people. Listen, man, the time is far spent. It's almost over. And we have to say this. We can't seal this up in a book. We can't lock this away because the time is almost over. The time for justice is at hand. Continue.
Verse 11. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still.
So you know what? Since the time is so short, if you're unjust, keep being that way. Stay just like that. That's all. Don't worry about it. You want to kill black people and Hispanics, huh? You want to murder the Hispanics, huh? You want to destroy their countries. Our oppressor is so cruel in South and Central America, and his oppressive laws and his crime and his theft and his grit and his graft and all of his corruption has destroyed South and Central America so much that people have to run out of there. They have to run out of their own homeland because America has wiped out their countries through trade deals and the World Bank and just old school oppression now. And Honduras is unlivable. People will die in the Rio Grande River to get and find, poverty in New York. They have poverty in Texas. They'd rather be poor in Arizona. How long? Well, these brothers wanted it to end. So if you want to be unjust, you go ahead and stay like that.
Right.
Keep being that way. Continue.
Come. And he which is filthy, let him be filthy still.
You want to be filthy, you LGBTQ people, you want to be filthy, huh? You want to be nasty. That's what happened to mantiteo. And mantiteo is not an Israelite. But I think about back when this happened, I remember I laughed at him so bad back then. I used to laugh at that cat. It was back then, you younger brothers might not know. But the thought of having a long-term relationship and never seeing somebody was as foreign to me. It was like I couldn't even understand it. I still can't understand it if I'm being completely honest and transparent. We're good now. I don't even understand it. But mantiteo was having this long-term love affair with this woman who he had never seen ever. I don't know how long it was going on. Man, come to find out, this bastard was such a con artist. They had like 5 people involved with fooling this cat out. 5 people involved with fooling him. Little babies. Little baby came up to him and said, I'm Marissa's sister. Marissa don't goddamn exist. The little 5-year-old come up to mantiteo and say, Cynthia told me to give you a hug. She says she's sick and she can't be here. He hugged the little girl thinking this is all true. Meanwhile, this is some lustful attention whore. Once again, you LGBTQ people, you don't just act like women. You act like the worst kind of woman. You know what you act like? You act like a woman who doesn't care about children, who doesn't care about kids. Well, when are you gay people going to start opening up foster care homes? Huh? There's no gay men out there opening up foster care homes, trying to take care of children. When are you gay people going to start making plates of food? When are you gay men going to put on an apron and a wig and get out there and give out plates of food to the homeless? You're not doing that? You know what you are? You gay men are just club hopping, drug taking hoes in the club. You're not just a woman, because there are women who add to femininity. Grandmothers who take care of children and feed the poor. But I can tell you while you're out of shop. But no, you gay men, all you care about is getting high. You're P-Valley. That's what you are. All you are is somebody getting high and wanting sex. You are penis-chasing attention whores. You're the worst kind of woman. So this transgender who is just an attention whore, like the worst kind of woman on Instagram. That's what he encountered. And it fooled this cat out, man, and ruined his whole goddamn life. And of course, he's super Christian, which makes him a super loser to anybody that wants to take from it. Meanwhile, both of them Christian. Both of them a bunch of gospel singing, choir. I'm not going to say that word, but I tell you what, they're not men. They're not manly. Let me move on. It's time for justice. So if you want to be filthy, go ahead. Put a dress on. Go ahead. This club is the weekend is here. Get ready to go to the club and do drugs and put on a wig. You lesbians, what do? Are you a man? What does that mean? You provide for your family? Is that what lesbian women do? Put a suit and a tie on and get out there and work 9 to 5? Are you lesbians out there working in the sewers to keep the water? Are you out there working on them oil rigs? Huh? Are you out there dirty, filthy, just covered in manure so you can make sure people eat? Are you farmers? Huh? What do you do? What are you lesbians doing? You know what you're doing? Being the worst kind of men. You're a womanizer. You're misogynistic. You're the worst kind of men that there are. Come on. Yeah, when are you lesbians out there on Deadliest Catch? Huh? Risking your life? Do you know what the water department does? Who's familiar with the water department? That is a terrible job. You know about that in the car? Break it down.
You're dealing with pipes that's
Underground, sewers, meaning you walking in the sewer. You need me up. Let me know. Tell me. You want it over? Tell me what you want.
No, moving it.
You want me to stop touching it? Salakia, off the water. I appreciate it. I will stop touching it. God damn it. There are jobs that men do that are terrible jobs. Horrible jobs. Jobs that mean you're just going to die. That's all that means. You're going to die at 60 because you work this job. Right? Places where you're going to get cancer from asbestos. Where you're going to die and get cancer. Are you lesbians out working on those jobs? No. You know what you're doing? You have baggy clothes on, eating to get fatter so you can look like a man more, and you're getting high and beating your girlfriend. That's what you're doing. You're an abusive man. That's the kind of man you chose to emulate. If If you want to be like that, go ahead and stay like that. Stay like that. You want to be filthy? Keep being filthy. Continue.
Common concept. Book of Revelation, chapter 22, and verse 11, in the middle. Let him be filthy still, and he that is righteous, let him be righteous still.
But if you want to be righteous, then keep on being righteous, because the time is short. If you want to stand up for what's right, if you want to save the lives of people, if you've decided that it's not good enough for me to be selfish, it might have been good enough for my father, but it's not good enough for me. I'm not living like that. I'm going to devote myself to other people, to the one people that no one else will devote themselves to, my people. That's what I decided to do. And if you want to be like that, keep on being like that up. Keep doing it up. Keep going.
And he that is holy, let him be holy still.
If you want to be, what does it mean to be holy? To be separate.
Right.
The opposite of filthy. If you want to be clean, you don't want to eat pork. You don't want to eat shrimp. You don't want to give yourself over to past traumas that might cause you to be a homosexual or to be a child molester or to be a rapist. You're not doing that up. You're not going to hurt someone like you were hurt. You're not doing that. You're not going to sell drugs. Damn that. Damn that for money, not for all the money in the world. Not for anything will I aid to the destruction of my very blood. I'm not doing that. Not for anything. Not for anything. Stay like that. You keep being like that. Continue.
That was it, sir.
I pray you understand. Everybody knows what the end result is, right? Judgment Day. In the end, everybody pays for what they've done. Everybody pays. And we're close. Very close. Abundant.
So I just want to make an announcement of ISUPK Canada having camping class again on Saturday, September 10th. We're going to be in Toronto, Ontario again, Dundas Square, 12 p.m. until. And then Saturday, October 8th, we're going to be in Montreal on Rue St. Catherine, downtown Montreal. So about the shot, stay tuned. Please stay tuned to ISUPK Canada for updates.
Did everybody hear him? Did I? Also, too, Canada, give Canada a hand. They're going out again. Rocking Canada. Also, too, get ready for the Passover. Get your money together. Get yourself together and get ready for the goddamn Passover. After the Passover, I'm going out to England. After the Passover, I'll be out there in England somewhere. Castles, knights, and the hardcore brothers of the UPK, man, out there under Parasha. Commander General Yohana will be sending me out there after the Passover, and we'll get it on. But before that is the Passover, and that is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal for myself and everyone else to attend the Passover and to make sure you're there, to make sure that we can at least focus on one time for us to be together, because it's terrible when we're apart. Everyone understands that. Come on.
This is like, any idea where it's going to be this year?
Where what? I don't know yet, but I know Commander General Yohana and Captain Zakar. Who else are working? They're working with Commander General Yohana on it. I believe his team is Captain Zakar, General Mayak, and that's all I can remember. But they are working on it day and night. Commander General Yohana has a team of brothers. Zakar and Mayak are two brothers on that team at least. And they are working on the Passover and making sure that the time is right, meaning that it's absolutely the correct date according to the Bible, and making sure that it is the perfect place for us to show our devotion to the Most High God. I pray you understand that. All right, next.
Previous brother that had a question in Matthew 24:20. He wanted verse 21 broken down too. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not seen since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
That's the part I thought they understood. That's why you get to do whatever you want to do, because there's a time coming when there will be so much terrible terror. You've never even understood it, and you can't remember it, and it never happened before. If you think the COVID-19 crisis was bad, you're in bad shape. If that struck you, it destroyed the Christian church out. The COVID-19. They was on the internet crying. Preachers were crying. Forgive us, congregation, forgive us. We should have known it was happening. We had no prophecy. The prophecy. I hate when the Christians say prophecy, the prophetic. My prophetic did not work. They were crying. Well, listen, you haven't begun to cry. You have not begun to cry. Christianity makes you soft, like mantiteo. It just makes you soft, Doc. And the soft man is going to be useless in the coming days. You're really useless right now. But some of you can hide because of your lying and your scheming. But there's coming a time out. You can't be a drug addict and serve Christ. How the hell are you going to be getting high and serving Christ when your enemy is going to dangle a bag of drugs in front of you and get you to betray your mother? You're an addict. An addict will do anything. So how in the hell will you survive without drugs? A lot of you, have you been to jail before? Have you ever seen those cats in prison who come in there high as hell? Oh my God, in the car, you know what I'm talking about. Listen, they're a joke. They come into that jail lock looking like they would snitch on Jesus Christ, the black man from the tribe of Judah, if they could get back on the street and cop. If they could cop, they would snitch on the Lord down from Mount Zion. Nakar.
If I could, sir, I remember last time I got locked up, 2014. My first day on the block, I seen this white dude up there smoking the tea bag.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what in the world? Like, what is this doing for me?
Listen, it's terrible. And they come into that holding cell, brother. They come down to that Rikers Island or the Roundhouse or Central Booking out there in New York. You should see it. It's like they need it now. Right. Forget about a cigarette up. They need a cigarette now, right? They can't wait until you can get drugs when you get to Rikers Island. Then you can get drugs. But while they in Central Booking, they're going to scratch holes in their arms. They're going to scratch because they need drugs. What are you going to do when there are none? When the whole place shuts down and you can't get high? You are going to betray the Lord, and you will suck a penis for drugs. You're going to do it. Come on.
I remember one time when I was arrested, somebody they were trying to pass K2
Mm-hmm.
the door because when we came out from rec, one of them was still there, they was locked in, they had done something.
Yeah.
So he tried to slide the K2 under the door
Mm-hmm.
to the guy. So me, I seen it, and he seen that I seen it, so he was telling me, yo, can you bring it back?
Mm-hmm.
So once I gave it to him and we had to bang in and things like that, I said, damn, my cellie was white,
Mm-hmm.
guy. But
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, damn, I could have got in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Because you passed it, yeah.
Yeah, so he was like, what was it? So it was K2 and third, so they had to leave out for their meds. And the brother that
You get it, right?
left too for their meds as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just see the guy over there telling him, like, hey, yeah, I heard that you got this, and third. And he looked at my cell like, dude, like, what's up? Like, why you just out here? What's it called? So my son got back. I'm looking at him like, what are you doing just running around opening your mouth like that?
Brother.
You look like I'm just talking. And, yeah.
Listen, he's so excited about that K2, and he wished that he could have got his hands on it first.
Mm-hmm.
And he would go in there and get poked good in that jail lock over that K2. He'd rather die. He'd rather get poked to death in there because he is an addict, and an addict can't serve God. That's in the Bible, man. No man can have two masters, for he shall hate one and love the other. It's in the Bible where Christ said, what profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? You don't have your soul if you're an addict. You don't control yourself. But what are you going to do when times get worse? What are you going to do when there's no more factories making pills or cough syrup? What will you do then? Scratch your own eyes out. Commit mass suicides. That's what you'll do.
You'll drink, but you alcoholics, there will come a time, brother, you're going to drink rubbing alcohol. That is what's going to happen. Am I making this up? You better Google it. Those alcoholics, brother, when they cannot get alcohol, they go into that medicine cabinet and raid it. And they inevitably will take that rubbing alcohol and think, hell, it says alcohol. 90 is 90 proof. And they're going to drink alcohol. And you can just Google stories of people who do it. Come on.
I remember when I was still in the world too. I used to have, let's call them players. I used to have players that used to give me. They used to just borrow, and when it first came, I used to take their whole movie first in one check.
Brother, I mean, well, when times get worse, now what? So imagine if you're someone who's an alcoholic, a drug addict, a Christian, a Muslim, and things get 10 times worse than they were during the COVID-19 crisis. You're going to scratch your eyes out for mercy. You scratch out your own eyes and open up your own veins to end your pain. Not this house.
Right.
This house have men prepared for battle, brother.
Right.
Getting ready, training every day. Every day. All right. Anything else?
I really wanted to break down a general breakdown of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 10 to 11. He says fake Hebrews use this to dismiss the 12 tribes.
All right, go ahead and read it.
Hebrews chapter, it's like Isaiah chapter 11, verse 10. And in that day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for a sign of the people, to which shall the Gentiles seek, and the rest shall be glorious. Verse 11.
Is that it?
Oh, verse 11 too.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea.
I don't know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, I could break it down for you, but I don't know how you could possibly read this and infer that what, the 12 tribes chart is incorrect? Is that what you're saying? Is it because of the word ensign?
No, so they're trying to say because, you got Gentiles and how Assyria and Egypt and Pathros and Cush and Elam, they forget that we were scattered all throughout.
Are they trying to say that the Israelites are only in those countries?
They're trying to say these are not Israelites. They're trying to say these are not Israelites, even though it said these people.
Well, I would probably show them that part then. where it says his people are bun.
Well, it's like what I gather from what I heard in the brief discussions I've had with them is that because Mexico City's not in there, they'll read that and say, see, Mexico City's not in there, so the Israelites are not Israelites. It's these people that are listed here that are in these countries today.
But this person that you're battling, where is he from? I'm literally meaning the fake Israelites that you're battling with, you die, you know one, a bun, you know one. Where are they from? A bun. The ghettos of America or Pathros? Right, Philly, right? Right, North Philly, right? West Philly. All right, well, unless they're from Pathros, I don't know what the hell we're talking about then. Like, how do you battle somebody in North Philly that says the only people that know God live in Pathros? I got to move on. All right, next question. Go ahead. I mean, I don't know. I don't talk to many people, so I don't quite know what it's like talking to people. But you handle your business. You do your job. That's all. I believe you know the breakdown already. All right. Go ahead.
Brother wanted to break down Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8 through 14.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 4.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 8. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite it.
This is an excellent precept. It's about wisdom and righteousness and doing the right thing and receiving a righteous reward, doing the wrong thing and receiving an evil reward. He that diggeth a pit is going to fall in it. What's the metaphor? The metaphor for this is hunting, right? Digging a pit is an old way that hunters used to hunt. They would dig a big pit, cover it with grass and leaves, maybe put a spike in the bottom of the pit, or just dig a big pit. And then they would go and push a deer, meaning chase a deer or chase a buffalo, and chase him in a way that you can make sure he'll fall into the pit. And then he just falls into the pit because it's covered with leaves and he didn't see it. And you could kill a lot of buffalo like that, a lot of deer like that. That's an old hunting method, all right? But the metaphor is being used here to let you know, if you create a trap for someone else, you are going to fall in that trap, right? If you do an evil thing, a lot of drug dealers became drug addicts. My God, a lot of them. All of your, super players, they was just big time ballers with the best cars. Go check him out now. Go see him now. He'll sell you his girlfriend. He'll sell you his wife and his daughter right now to get high, right? You can't set a plot to hurt someone else and think it's not going to hurt you. He that diggeth a pit shall fall therein. Keep going.
And whoso breaketh the hedge, a serpent shall bite him.
What is a hedge? A hedge is like a barrier or a wall, right? But imagine you break the hedge so that this person doesn't have protection. Well, as you break the hedge, a snake comes in that breach that you made, and you're the one that's going to get bitten. All right? If you plot out to hurt someone else and plot out to do someone else wrong, you're the one who is going to have wrong done to you. Everybody understands. I pray you understand that, because that's a rough lesson to learn the other way. The other way things get learned. Everybody understand? Go ahead.
Verse 9. Whoso removeth stones shall be hurt therewith.
You get that? Whoso removes stones. So there's stones here. Once again, what are the stones doing? The stones make a wall. All these stones stacked up create protection. You remove these stones, you're trying to take down this protection. Well, you're going to get hurt with those very stones. You're trying to harm someone. You're trying to make someone less safe. You're the one that's going to be harmed because of it. Keep going.
And he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereby.
What is cleaving wood? Cleaving wood is chopping down a tree. So you're chopping down a tree. Guess what? You're in danger now, because that tree is going to fall on you. All right. It's a lesson that fathers used to teach their sons. When I say used to, I mean 1,000 years ago. But in the UPK, you can learn that right now. And you always can learn it since 1969.
Right.
All right. Anything else?
They said they wanted to verse 14.
Keep going.
Word verse 10. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 10. If the iron be blunt and he do not wet the edge, then must he put to more strength.
What's the metaphor with this? Sharpening a sword. That's the metaphor, all right? This is how you sharpen a sword to this very day. You get a stone, specific kind of stone, and you rub it, turn it on both sides. I've done this many, many times. Sharpening the arsenal of swords I have. Swab it. You want to kind of angle it so it can get the edge sharp. So you kind of give it an angle. Or you might see chefs doing it. It's like this. It's this big what's this thing called? It's like a stick or something, right? It has a stone on it, and they go on each side. They go one side, then they cross over, side. Well, if you don't wet it, meaning if you don't put water on it, you're gonna have to rub it harder because you haven't put water on it to make the work easier. This is the metaphor. You want to make your work easier. What's the modern equivalent? Work smarter, not harder. Wet that stone. Wet the stone so that the work can be easier. That's life. That's life. Without skill and know-how, it makes the things that you want to do harder to do because you don't know how to do it. And so what do you have to do? You learn through, what's a perfect term they always use? Trial and error. That's a terrible way to learn any goddamn thing. Right. Trial and error? What are you going to learn? The stock market through trial and error? Is that what you want to do? Okay, no problem. I'm going to put all my money in the stock market, and I'll learn that the stocks are bad when I lose every penny of my goddamn money. Now I know. Goddamn, and you're poor as hell, right? I'll learn through trial and error about how to pick a woman. I'll just have sex with whatever piece of garbage my penis gets erect for. And then when she gives me AIDS, now I know. When she takes me to child support court and puts me in jail and her other boyfriend shoots me, now I learned a good lesson. Nigga, you better learn better than that. You better learn through being told by someone who has experience. You don't want to learn through trial and error. You don't want to go do things and then learn through failure. Okay, if that's how you want to do it. The Bible is trying to recommend a better way, right? Wet the stone, young man. Go ahead, make this easier for yourself. Don't do it like that. Don't have sex with that kind of woman. Don't do that. You're making life harder on yourself. You're making it very difficult to succeed in life and to achieve righteous goals because of the way you're doing it. In the car, go ahead.
If I could, sir, like this scripture is serious because like I can speak for experience. You know, I came once upon a time and I learned and I was getting it.
Mm-hmm.
I was being hard to be a student. And you know,
I hear you.
I had to learn
I hear you.
I had to learn the hard way. And when I say I ran into situations, I was like, all right, let me stop playing around with fire because I don't want to learn no more. Like I had to learn that trial and error, and that's
give him a hand. That's correct. It is not good. And that's it. Yeah, don't work harder. Work smarter. Use some brains. All right. And brains are very easy to achieve. You get brains through your ears. I pray you understand what I mean. I know you don't, but I'll say it one last time. You get brains through your ears. I'll move on. A bun.
But wisdom is profitable to direct.
I said, I think I just broke that down for you already. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Wisdom, Mark. Come on now. Anything else? I moved the damn thing again. It's a lucky you died. Come on. Go ahead.
Verse 11. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment.
Yeah. Do I need more? This is the last one?
We're at verse 11.
All right. This is all wisdom, Mark. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment. What's the metaphor? I don't know if you even see this anymore, but they used to have this on cartoons when I was a kid, where they would have an East Indian snake charmer, where he have a snake or cobra in a basket, and he would go, and the snake would come out of the basket and be hypnotized. They would tell you it's the song, but really it's not the song. It's the movement of the guy doing this. He's swaying back and forth, and the snake is going, watching him. But because he's not in one spot, the snake doesn't know how to strike. So the snake is just, and that's where the term comes from. A snake will bite if you don't charm him. That's enchantment, to charm the snake. If you don't charm that snake, if you don't work him, manipulate him, he's going to bite you. That is how you deal with snakes. You charm them. That's how the Israelite School of UPK deals with the police, deals with all of our enemies. We charm them and charm them and charm them and charm them. Before you know it, that cop is ours. He's our cop. He works for us. The people who destroy you day and night, before you know it, they just do whatever we want them to do. That's a master class. We'll have to get into that another time. But that absolutely is possible. To take the people who are there are certain people, when you answer them with aggression, they respond with aggression. But when you answer them with skill and tact, and you understand, a lot of people, you know what a snake is? A snake is violent, but dumb. And there are so many people in this world who are absolutely stupid, but very violent, very dangerous, but they're idiots. Like I remember sometime I was battling somebody, I don't know who the hell it was, but they were afraid of animals, like I don't even remember what the hell animal, it was some animal. And if they saw the picture of the animal, they would be terrified. Meaning literally, if you sent them a picture of the damn thing on their phone, they would go, ah, and drop the goddamn phone. They had a phobia of some animal, right? Which, like, some people have that with clowns or mice but this one was ridiculous, meaning a picture on the phone would have them drop the phone and they couldn't pick their phone back up. And I begin to tell them, well, what do you think would happen if a man met that animal? Like, you know how terrible bears are? Bears are terrible things. Men kill bears. Bears are no match for men. Lions are, listen, a lion is a ridiculous thing. If a lion's come around men, you know what you'll have? No more lions. No more tigers. That's why that movie Jurassic Park is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. One of my kids had me sit down and watch this stupid Jurassic Park movie where these Tyrannosaurus Rexes are chasing people, the little Rexes, they're little raptors, and they chasing people all over the city. And I said, do you know what would happen if Tyrannosaurus Rexes were walking down the street? You know what you have? No more Tyrannosaurus Rexes. You know the type of animals that are gone because they encounter men? Whales, they're gone. Tigers are gone. I think it's like 20 tigers left in the wild, Doc. You know why? Because a tiger is fierce, but he's not smart. He can't make a gun or a bulletproof vest, which means a tiger is gone the minute he comes in contact with people. Dinosaurs wouldn't be a threat to man. If a tiger is disappearing and a lion is gone and the polar bears are dead, what in the hell do you think would happen if Tyrannosaurus Rex walked down the block? You'd be putting flowers on the ground for Tyrannosauruses. Why? Because big, fierce things with no intelligence are easily manipulated. You can just do what you want to do to them because they're not smart. And that's the scripture. If you don't enchant that snake, he's going to bite you. You've got to deal with him, not with fierceness, but with brains, but with intelligence, which is what enchantment is talking about. Self-control. You give me one brother who can't control himself, but he's so fierce and big and bad and a killer, and some cat who has self-control, there'll be no more tough guys. I pray you understand that. There'll be a lot of flowers on the ground for tough guys. Sister? Then they don't have self-control. That's the key. Right? Then they don't have self-control. Self-control means literally that, meaning you get aggressive because you decide to get aggressive. It's a decision. It's not because you just lost your mind or you lost it, like black people love to say. Man, I just lost it. You can't lose it and be in control. You can't lose it. Come on, we ready? Is there a time for aggression? Absolutely. And we will decide when that time is. You get my point? It's a decision, but it's not an emotional reaction, all right? That's the point of all of this. All right, the snake will bite unless you charm him, enchant him. You use your mind to conquer his might. Everybody gets that. David is very, very famous for doing just that. He's a big, bad giant. Oh, he was so bad. But David was smart. David knew just what to do. David knew just what he wasn't ready for, and David knew what he was skilled in. And you had a lot of dead Philistines that day, brother. Right. I pray you understand that. Anything else? Any more questions? Come on.
I just want to know. So basically, so like on applications and things like that, you can put like Israel instead of African American.
No, okay. Just put whatever. They'll have a thing for whatever you are. Put it down there. Just, if they have black, check black. Right? If they have Hispanic, check Hispanic. Check whatever thing they call you and go in there and get their goddamn money and walk up out of there. And that's that. And that's your relationship with oppressors. Your relationship with oppressors is not loyalty or honesty or some type of moral thing. Your relationship with oppressors is the exchange of labor for money. And that's that. And that is the only relationship that we have with other nations. Okay, that exchange, everybody understands. Abun, anything else? With that, pass the class over to police officer Abun.